Well, g'day folks. Today we're going to talk about living life more like a tree. And I think if a lot more people lived like this, they'd be a lot more happy. Now, to start off with the trunk is your core beliefs that cannot be changed. And it's important to have these, and these are a solid foundation for the rest of your life and how everything branches off it. So your core beliefs could be you're not going to fight, you're not going to steal, you're not going to be dishonest, a whole bunch of things like that. Like that, your core beliefs and your foundations and everything else kind of comes off. So this must be firm and planted to the ground. This is unchangeable, or like the trunk to a tree. The trunk of the tree is always solid and it doesn't move too much to your eyes. The branches now are connected to the trunk. So you still have your core beliefs that don't change, but your branches, when a storm comes, they're a little bit more flexible. So they're still attached to your core beliefs, but there's some flex in it. So this could be like if you go to a party and everyone else is getting really drunk, but your core belief is to not get very drunk. Like you can go to the party and you can be around these people, but you know that you're not going to cross over into your core belief. It could be like if people are starting trouble or being a nuisance or breaking things or stealing things or wrecking someone's house. You can hang around with those people, which is the flexible part, but you know when they cross the line that your core beliefs stay the same and you're not going to do that. So there's a bit of a flex in that. So you have your foundation that doesn't change. You have your flex, which is kind of a little bit of give here and there on what you do and who you hang around with, but it won't go into your core beliefs. Now the leaves are the important parts, because that's when the storm really comes and the wind really blows. There's no resistance. The leaves are just part of the tree that bend and give and wrap around the wind. They don't push against the wind and try and stop anything. So these are the simple things that, like, most arguments are caused by trying to control the leaves. And the leaves would be like, which movie do you want to see tonight? And there'll be an argument. Or what do you want to have for dinner tonight? And there'll be an argument. Or why are you late home? Or you try and control someone, where they go and what they do. So the leaves, you're trying to control something that doesn't really need to be controlled. And it's best, with those situations I just gave you an example of, is to just go with it, because it doesn't make any difference. Your life is not going to change. You can't change a person. You just go with it. The bigger the storm, your foundations are settled, so nothing gives there, but the top just goes, it flexes, it moves around, it doesn't resist. So you can't try and stop someone doing something, and most of the time when you fight, it's over things that are so ridiculous that it makes no difference to the world, no difference to your world. Now, where people go a little out of kilter sometimes is they try and use the leaves to control their whole life. They forget about their foundations, they forget about the tree, the branches and a little bit of flex, and they try and control everything with the leaves. And the leaves are there to bend and flex and give and wrap with the wind. And when you try and control your whole life with the leaves, what happens then is that's like when the leaves and the small branches are stiff and dry. There's no flex. When there's no flex, they break. You get stress. Your whole life goes into turmoil because you're trying to control everything with the part of the tree that you're supposed to just let go. So, and when this happens, when you can try and control your whole life with just the leaves, you forget about the branches, you forget about your core beliefs. A lot of the time you don't even know what your core beliefs are because you're not focusing on that. You're just focusing on controlling everything, and that never works. That just causes you more stress. So in your life, try not to control things. Try not to control things that make no difference. You see, a tree is not super strong because it's all flexible. And a tree is not super strong because it's all rigid. You have to know when to be rigid, you have to know when to be flexible, and you have to know when to be a little bit in the middle. So sometimes maybe you need to live your life a little bit more like a tree. Well, there you go. If you've got any comments you'd like to add to that, whether it be positive or negative, or you've got some thoughts on what I said or some opinions on your own, add them to the comments section below because I'd love to read them. I'll see you next week.